I would say that it comes from that, but honestly, I don't know how I'm able to do it. I mean, it's obvious, obviously, that is a pet peeve of mine. Like, I know y'all know more people than the person that produced this. This sounds like a watered down version. Like, Drake dropped a Hall dance pop
Yeah.
project, and everybody's just like, bro, get up out of here with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's something with artists when they just come out of nowhere.
Like, bro, like I'd have to do a 2 or 3 hour stream to get that whole catalog in, bro. Like that diversity, where does that come from? Is that coming from your family as well? Like where, because bro, like for anybody who's just tuning in late, what's up? My name is DJ Integrity. This is BrvndonP. Y'all know who he is, but like the diversity of everything, and then it's been really cool to kind of see you just grow up as an individual and grow into who BrvndonP is. And then like, again, that the worship tracks and everything else, the live sets, like it blew my mind even as I was preparing, because I was like, yo, like, man, Bible in the Air guy is the same guy who's doing Rivers, who's the same guy, who's doing like it's just crazy to have that. So where does all that diversity coming in from, man?
Um, Honestly, it comes from my family. It comes from how I grew up. It comes from being a musician, and just loving music. Um, I honestly, I would say that it comes from that, but honestly, I don't know how I'm able to do it. I mean, it's obvious, obviously it's God. It's a gift from God. You
Yeah.
know, my homie was just like, bro, like we'll be doing a session. Like I was in a session with Mission, and then right after the session, I had to go do a church service. So he's like, and then after that, he was just, bro, I don't know how you do it. I was like, do what? He's like, bro, you was just rapping, like making a
Mm,
beat. Now you about to go play at church. Like,
that
how in
headspace.
your like,
Yeah.
and then the next day I'm having a worship writing session. Like, how are you able to jump from circle to circle to circle, or the thing to thing to thing, and
Yeah.
it still be fire and it still sound authentic?
Yes. Yes.
I honestly don't know. Like, one of the things that bothers me is when people try to do like, okay, I might get in trouble for this, but I don't care. It really bothers me when gospel artists try to make a trap like song and they don't go to a trap gospel producer. It's just like they go to a gospel producer that tries to make a gospel trap beat or something like that instead of going to the people that actually do it.
Bro. Bro.
that is a pet peeve of mine. Like, I know y'all know more people than the person that produced this. This sounds like a watered down version of, like, this is not a good representation of what it actually is.
Bro, that part right there. Just that last part right there. There's no way that you don't know one living soul that can do this, cuz clearly something got you into it. So where did
Yeah.
that come from, and why didn't you go there?
And that's something, like, even when I was working on all of my different work, my who said I couldn't do it, the different genre, the EPs of different genres.
Yep.
Even when I was doing that, like, I was like, yo, I want to do it. I even tried like the pop EP, out of
Yeah.
line. Originally, I was going for alternative pop type of rock or something like that,
Mhm.
because I was inspired by Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, yo, I want to make an album like that. Like, I
Right.
want sound, but I'm like, ooh, that don't sound like me. I still have to. I don't have that type of voice, so, but
Yes.
I still gotta try to make it sound like me, because I don't want it to sound like, who the heck is this? You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And I was very intentional about still having it sound like me. So I think a part of the reason why the different genres that was able to work is because in each project, going back to Black Knight the Break In, like, I had different genres, and I tried to implement different sides of me in everything that I do.
Yeah.
In Breaking, you had the song called The Blood, that was like a gospel type vibe. And then you had Bags Down, which you played, which was like the pop stuff.
Mhm.
And then, like, fast forward to Brandon P. Like I had Off the Record, then I had Over the Clouds, and then I had Doors. So it was just like I've always tried to incorporate like different sides of me because it's just like that's kind of who I am. Like I like to be versatile. I don't like to just stick to one thing. I was
Yeah.
told, I hear all the time, like, man, as an artist, you really gotta find your sound, stick
Yep.
to it, and all
Yep.
this. And it's just like, what if my sound is being versatile? Like,
Hey, that's it right there.
what if it is? You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna do? Oh man, like I was not expecting this album at all. Like, holy cow! Like, what's the next one gonna be?
A
Right,
lot of people wasn't expecting the worship project at all. A lot of people
bro.
was not.
You know what? You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? Only because I've kept up with you for so long. I literally was like, man, this dude is really intentional about worship. Like I've seen, again, your social media posts or whatever. Like I'm like, honestly, not that I knew it was going to be a whole thing. Don't get me wrong. Like I thought it was gonna be like a song. To be honest, I thought it was gonna be like
Yeah,
a song or something
yeah,
like that. A bonus track, whatever. But I was like, yo, I bet you this dude's gonna go into some worship, and which is funny because George Moss, who is the founder of All Things Oxen, his heart has always been to have like a worship album of some sort. Like he's very, very gravitated to it. He's in the hip hop space, and so yeah, bro. Like still mind blowing that it just came out of nowhere and it was done with excellence. That was the important
yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah. And I try to make sure I stayed in my lane. Like I didn't try to do too much. I didn't try to like as far as the worship project, I didn't try to be something that I wasn't. Like that means we go into what we talked about as far as Christian and gospel artists trying to make pop stuff. If
Yeah.
I try to make a worship album and I try to sing the whole thing myself,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't going to hit the way it did. It was just like, wait a minute, I know my lane. This is my lane. Cool. I wrote it. I can do a verse. I'm not about to try to make the whole song hit the way that it needs to hit. So let me go bring in some other people
Yes.
that can help. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to make a studio live album and try to play all the instruments myself and all this type of stuff. No, it was just like I went to the people that was able to make it
Yep.
happen. And it was very, yeah, I'm very intentional about the stuff that I do. It's just like I like to make something for everybody. If I go into making an album or something like that, I'm very intentional about, okay, I want to make this type of song. All right, I need to have this type, I need to have that type.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right, cool. Like I'm very intentional. When it came to the EPs, with Borderline, my fan base was very male heavy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was just like, ooh, it's the women that buy tickets. It's the
Yes,
women that
sir.
buy merch. It's the women that send it to their boyfriends and be
Yep.
like, get me this, let's go. Like,
Yep.
it's the women. It's just like, so understanding I need more female listeners because that definitely helps for sure. Boom, drop the project. Like, it kind of evened out. It was just like, all right, cool. We 50-50. Perfect. Like the pop stuff, very intentional about like sync placements, like sync licensing and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I want to make this because these songs are easily can get synced if somebody whatever. And then when that dropped, the song ended up on some pop playlist, and then Fox Network hit me up and was just like, we want to work with you. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, so I'm like, all right, that goal is checked off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my whole motivation for doing the EPs the way that I did is because I wanted to do a worship project, but I couldn't just come out with
Yes.
a worship project,
Right.
just off the bat because everybody would be like, "What just happened?"
Yep.
So I kind of had to build into it, just like, okay, I'm doing something that you ain't never seen me do, like with the R&B stuff, like a whole project, pop stuff, boom. All right, now you about to get the worship project because now like I
Yeah.
could do whatever I want to do.
And I think that was a great timing because of it. I 100% agree that I think
Yeah,
that you had primed and prepped everybody to just know to expect the unexpected. And
yeah,
I think at that point, every project stood alone on its own to still have not just your own sound, but your own quality as well of everything that you
yeah,
bring to it. and so it was more believable. It was more believable. Like it's one thing for us to just know that that you do the worship music and everything else, at church and the MD and all that. Like it's one thing for us to have that head knowledge, but like ear wise, I agree. I don't think nobody would have really been able to receive it
Right.
as well had the timing, not been there. So do you feel like while you were doing all of that, do you feel like you were getting a lot of support? Like were people like really rallying for you, or
Hmm.
were did you get any kind of pushback where people are like, okay, like, hey, you did it, but I probably would never do it again. Like how was that received for the people around you?
Um, I think number one, I learned from the people ahead of me. So like I learned that when artists just come out of nowhere and they just drop a project like out
Mhm.
of nowhere with a different sound, their fans are like, "What the heck is this?"
Mm.
Like, Drake dropped a Hall dance pop
Yeah.
project and everybody's just like, "Bro, get up out of here with that."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's something with artists when they just come out of nowhere and just drop something completely different than what they normally do. The fans just don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I need to be intentional with trying to prep people about what's about to happen.
That's good.
That way, um, they won't have this sort of tension of like, let's not do that again. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And that goes all the way back from start to beginning, from Black Knight days. It's just like always trying to have people putting different different things in their ear. But as far as like people saying, I honestly, I'm gonna just keep it lit with you. Um, I don't feel like I don't get the respect that I get. Period.
Yes,
Wait a
sir.
minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
We going
Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
So we're gonna sit on that. We're gonna sit on that right there since you brought that up. Since you brought that up. I wanted to go there anyways. But
Yeah,
now okay, so oftentimes artists, I mean a lot of people, sports, it doesn't matter. People will want to say or feel this kind of way of like chip on the shoulder. People don't really respect me. They don't, they try to, my haters, right? All that kind of stuff. And I want to say like 95% of the time it's just total BS. It's like no, stop it. No. You got a couple people here and there that may say something against you, but stop. You don't have that.
yeah, yeah,
But I will 100% agree when it comes to you, even with you and mission and stuff like that. Like it, it has always been mind blowing. Actually, I was talking to the homie Q earlier from Vegas. He actually talked about that he was at Coachella last year, got a chance to meet you guys. Same thing. He felt like he was been super impacted from you guys and giving you flowers there. And so he was telling me about it. But what I was telling him is like, man, for whatever reason, it has blown my mind that as much as Christians try to have like a champion of some sort, I did not see you get the respect and love in the Christian community as I thought I would.
yeah,
As
yeah.
overtly Christian you are,
Hmm.
at the same time, it's not whack. Like you're pushing yourself. You're sonically sounding, different than everybody else. It's always been mind blowing to me that in the Christian space, you weren't getting the love that I really felt like you really were owed. Not that you sought out for it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, like y'all keep looking at these other people who are trying to now cater to non-Christian spaces, and you just go and neglect me like I haven't been here for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
like how have you reacted to something like that, man?
It's very discouraging at times, and I'm just like I kind of was just like I just had to charge it to the game
Mm,
for like, hey, a lot of people don't get their flowers. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
At the same time, like I feel like there's a lot of people that really don't. Ryan Leslie is a person. a producer who actually like changed the game for a lot of different people, and I don't feel like he got his flowers. Like Missy Elliott is somebody that I feel like, you know, did a lot for the game and
Yes.
doesn't get the flowers that she deserves.
Absolutely.
So it's just like I'm looking at different people, and it's just like it I don't want to focus on like getting
Right.
the respect that I, feel like I deserve, but at the
Right.
same time, like, bro, like I'm not just some kid that just started out doing it. I kind of been doing it and I got the track record to prove it.
Right.
And I got different things that it's like I'm not just anybody out here in these streets. Like
Better recognize who I am.
I mean, and honestly, like this is something that I kind of, it's like my own self revelation or whatever the case may be. But it was through a sermon that I watched, and it was just like I'm kind of tired of like being fake humble. Like I don't want to be humble because you don't feel secure in yourself. So like a lot of people are like, man, all glory to God. Is just like, oh yeah, okay, all glory to God. But like I'm confident in who I am and what I can do and what I've accomplished.
Because God made me dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like even Jesus himself was just like, he was a boss and he was confident. He spoke highly of himself. Man was just like, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Like, like, wait a minute. He didn't say no, no. It's just like I've learned that like it's okay to just speak up.
Yeah.
About like what I've done and how much that I have contributed in this space. And it's just like, y'all gonna give me my flowers sometime or another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it does have something to do with the political game.
Oh yeah.
It definitely
go ahead,
has something
speak
to
on
do
that,
with
bro.
politics and cosigns and stuff like that, because I'm not getting a cosign from this person or something like that. Oh, it's just like Brandon P fell off. No, I don't really need a cosign from anybody. It's kind of like I mean, I can go on and on and on. Like I feel like the fact that nobody is actually speaking on what I did with the different genres of EPs. Like I don't know if anybody in this space ever did something like that.
Not
I
that
know
I'm aware
people
of.
have I know that people have attempted to do something like that, but it didn't really work out in
There'd be
the
like a track
best
or
of.
two, maybe. Yeah, not a whole project.
No,
Yeah.
like even the fact of like putting out live albums.
Right. Right.
Nobody, like people do it, but like trying to be intentional, like, yo, you're gonna get a live album for every album that I drop. You're going to get a live album with it. Because I love music. I love live music. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna make something for people to just knock in their car, but I'm gonna also make something for the musicians or the music lovers that love the live element of, and it'll sound dope.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of stuff that I've done and have accomplished that people just don't talk about. They like to talk about it, within themselves, but hey, send me a tweet about it. Do something.
Right.
I see people be like, oh yeah, I've been seeing what Brandon P been doing and all that stuff. Okay, well, post about it. If you like an album, shout me out.
Yeah,
retweet it, tag me.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Don't tell me that you love me in person and never show love anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, God is good.
Hey, if you liked any of this content and you found some value in it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and of course, share it. Also, if you're interested in some more, go ahead and check out these videos. Till next time, grace and peace. Adios.